Okay, it's Tuesday and it's weekly reset here. If you go to Zavala, you get the exotic quest here, the evacuation quest line. Let's take a look at Eververse. What she has, the Solstice of Heroes is done. Well, this kind of gives away what you're getting today, by the way. Kind of just advertises the ornament for Travelers Chosen here. Take a look at it. So they kind of spoiled what you get for the ending. The Pole Bear. Sparrow for sale, or ship for sale. Nothing is wrong emote. For Bright Dust here, you get the SK1 multi-brand rover. Objective Reality Truth ornament. Champion entrance. Let's take a look at the Bright Dust page here. Precise Strike emote. By the way, I don't have much Bright Dust because I bought the glows for my hunter as well. I didn't do the Solstice on my Titan this time, even though they made it a lot easier to grind on your other characters. The Study Time emote. Canopus Trireme. Trireme. Vehicle. We got the Minuscule Melody emote. Some ornaments. Weapon ornament for Leviathan's Breath and Ghost Projection. And that is Eververse for this week. If you're interested in the quest steps for the Traveler's Chosen exotic sidearm, I created a video a month ago showing all the steps. I'll put a link in the description to that video. But in other news, the Iron Banner has returned. Lord Saladin here is in the tower. So if you haven't grabbed that sidearm or that auto rifle, you can, or you need some pinnacle gear. The bounties are not too difficult. But yeah, Iron Banner has returned. Bungie has released more information about the Stasis subclasses that will be released in this upcoming expansion Beyond Light. This time they talked about the Hunter Revenant. Revenants are a worthy ally in any battle. Summon the storm, use it for cover, lure enemies inside, then unleash devastation. Silence and Squall. Channeling stasis shards towards them, Revenants form Kama blades and use them to unleash a lethal two-pronged attack. To me it sounds like Blade Barrage, but like two attacks, like it's Deadly Edge. Upon impact, the first blade shatters and sends out a wave of stasis energy that freezes any enemies in the surrounding area. Then Stasis Storm, the second blade hits and creates a violent stasis storm that hones in on nearby enemies, slowing, damaging, and eventually freezing them. Withering Blade, this is the melee ability. So the Revenant throws razor-sharp stasis shurikens into the fray that ricochet off multiple enemies and surfaces, slowing and damaging them in the process. So here's more information about the Silence of Squall super. So this super involves a two-pronged attack, with each Kama blade having a different function. The first blade, when thrown, immediately detonates on impact, freezing enemies in a radius from the center of the blast. And then Hurl Squall, the second blade, and it will embed itself into a surface or an enemy and then detonate, creating a stasis storm that will attract nearby enemies, slowing and damaging them as it makes contact. So players using a Hunter Revenant will also be able to customize their stasis power over the time using aspect and fragment slots. So here's an example of an aspect. Activate while midair to quickly descend and shatter nearby targets on impact. Here's Whisper of Hedrons. Gain a bonus to weapon damage after freezing targets with stasis. So it'll be cool to mess around with these aspects and fragments to make the super or your abilities a lot stronger. And then it looks like all three Guardians or classes here will have the same grenades. So Glacier Grenade, upon contact with the ground, a wall of stasis crystals instantly bursts from the earth and nearby enemies are frozen inside stasis crystals. These grenades have multiple uses, from encasing enemies to creating cover. When destroyed, the crystals will create AoE burst damage to nearby enemies. The Cold Snap Grenade. Upon impact with the ground or an enemy, the grenade unleashes a wave of stasis energy that races along the ground in the direction of the closest nearby enemy, freezing them and then searching out the next nearby foe. You can freeze up to 3 enemies with a single Cold Snap Grenade. Dust Field Grenade. Dust Field Grenades create powerful stasis fields that suck enemies into them when forming. Once an enemy is caught inside, they will be slowed and, if unable to make it out in time, frozen in place. Glacier Grenade is what they showed in the trailer, where you can use it as platforms. But if you want to read this article itself, I'll put the link in the description. And this has been the info about the Hunter Super Revenant. This week, the Nightfall Ordeal is Savathun's Song. The Dreaming City Curse is in week 3 this week at its strongest. If you need the Truth to Power Lord piece, here's your chance. And the Ascendant Challenge is Harbinger Seclude. The Flashpoint this week is in the EDZ. The Leviathan order this week is Baths, then the Dog encounter, then the Gauntlet, and then the Callus encounter. The Crucible Rotators this week are Supremacy and Countdown. The weekly means to end quest as always requires you to complete contact events for the first step. The contact event is located on Titan in the rig. The heroic boss for the contact event is the Taken Monstrosity. The second step requires you to collect Umbo traces by participating in Escalation Protocol, Gambit, Gambit Prime, or the Reckoning. I completed this in 2 reckonings. The Interference mission is the Relic mission type, and is the same except the ending dialogue is the Interference mission we played in week 2. Eris has more dialogue this week, and I'll show you the complete dialogue to you now. As always, thanks for watching my Destiny video.
This message denotes a continued inevitable movement. Falling would be a suitable translation, though the outcome here is not necessarily negative. The die is cast. As the light from a distant star takes time to reach our eyes, an event we cannot yet perceive has already occurred.